there, thank you for joining me on FernCrafts. I'm Christine, and if you are new, I welcome you to my channel. Today I wanted to just do a very quick video. I was in the middle of repotting this orchid, and I thought I would share this with you. And it might be, common to some of you and maybe new to some. So I hope to help those that are new with orchids, and as I just recently started, maybe about 2 years ago, and I've fallen in love with orchids, and every day is a learning experience for me. So today I'm working on repotting this Oncidium Burgundian. I've recently done a video on the orchid in bloom, and I actually have some of the blooms here left, the last of them, and I'm just going to leave them there because I feel so bad to cut them off, and they're such pretty blooms, and they were actually very fragrant as well. So I'm just leaving them there. They are on their way out anyways, so I don't think it'll make much of a difference. But what I did want to share with you is I just took it out of a pot, out of its pot, and it was in this black pot. I had a sticker there to remind me that it was fragrant. And of course it only has holes, drainage holes on the bottom. But what I wanted to show you was, I really like transparent pots or see-through pots, excuse me, because I can see how well the roots are growing. But the orchid, it seems, is in full growth mode. So what I wanted to show you were all these lovely root tips all around. Okay, it's obviously pot bound. As you can see, it's taken on the shape of the pot. And so I'm having a really hard time because you have to be so gentle with them, and removing the old medium, which seems to be entirely sphagnum moss in this case. But what I wanted to show you was root tips. Now let me try and focus on some here. If it would focus for me, I'm not still enough. Okay, but everywhere, root tips. There, I think that's better. All those tiny, tiny yellow spots that you see at the end of the roots, those are growing root tips, and I don't want to damage them. And it's so difficult to, pull out the medium without actually, moving them around. And I'm trying to be a little, exaggerate my motion here, but I would be very, very gentle when I'm doing it. In pulling out the medium, it'll take me a very long time. But I just wanted to show you that, sometimes we think that the black pot with its drainage holes at the bottom are not that great, but I guess the orchid liked it because it kept it cool and moist in the roots, and of course it got a lot of sunshine for its the top of the plant. So just something I wanted to share with you. I think it will still prefer a little more air ventilation on the sides, but it was just an observation that I wanted to share. But yeah, so I'm really happy to see that she is growing, and she's growing well. It's got let's see, this tiny growth here, maybe an old pseudobulb. Nothing new in the way of top growth, but that's fine because this makes me more happy to see all of the root tips on the bottom. So just something I wanted to share with you. I'm going to go ahead and continue the repot, and maybe I'll do a clip right at the end, or maybe show you a picture of its final repot, because I've done so many of these and they're pretty much the same thing, but it's going to take me a long time to pry out all of the sphagnum moss. And if you're new to orchids, it's really a very interesting hobby of mine, and you learn so much. You learn how you even learn simple things like and how to be disciplined in some ways, and how the orchid really has its own resources for survival. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you. Okay folks, here it is, repotted in its new home. This is the Oncidium Burgundian, and here is that spray of the last blooms. I'm gonna leave it on and maybe a day or two, and then they're gonna be gone, so I might as well enjoy them while they're here. And I hope it likes its new home. I've potted it in a bigger pot. This is about a 5-inch pot maybe. And what I wanted to show you was, before I was telling you that it didn't have any signs of growth on the top. I was wrong. Look at this. So it did take a little bit of, you know, looking around carefully. And there was this one leaf that was buried, and I was wondering, even in its old medium, and I was wondering what that was. But it's actually a pseudobulb way in deep into the medium, and it was bound by sphagnum moss. So yeah, as you can see, now let me try to get that to focus there. There's a new growth right there, as well as another one right here. So these are pseudobulbs that are going to be developing, and I hope it likes its new pot and new medium. I'm trying out a clay pot because I see many of you have your orchids in clay pots, and I just wanted to try it out. This is a fairly new find, new purchase, so I'm not entirely attached to it yet, but of course she is fragrant and has beautiful blooms, so I do want to, you know, make sure that she does well. So I'm trying out a clay pot, and the medium that I've used in here is bark, larger bark pieces, or I should say medium bark mix. It's not very large. Medium bark mix mixed in with some sphagnum moss, and right at the base I put in some packing peanuts for drainage. So now with the clay pot, what I have learned from others and just from reading is that it is porous, so of course it has good air circulation, but it also dries out faster. So you don't want to have a very dry medium in there, and that's why I've included the sphagnum moss to hold back a little bit of the moisture, because Oncidiums don't like to be totally dry. They have their pseudobulbs for storage in case they need it, but really it is like more of a last resort. You don't want them to use up the energy from the pseudobulbs, because then they start shriveling and showing signs in the plant, showing signs of stress, which don't look pretty for your plant. So there it is. That's the Oncidium Burgundian, all repotted. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I know I didn't do a detailed video on the repotting, but if you do want to see a detailed video on repotting, I will include a link down below of one that I have done. I have done several, so that'll be a start off, I guess, on watching one of my repottings and knowing exactly what I do. So yeah, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you haven't done so already, do subscribe, and you'll be the first to know when I upload a video. If you did like this video, please, or if you have any questions or comments, please do post them down below. I'd love to interact with all of y'all through the comments, and I really am encouraged by what you have to say, and if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to try and answer them. So again, enjoy your orchids. Bye bye.